today we're doing our first cruise. We're going to go to Conyer. We woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, hence the appearance as always, and we've got to Queenborough because the rest of the Medway fleet spent the night here at Queenborough. And we've just been told we have to get to the bridge, the Sheppey Bridge, which lifts for us at 8:30 to go through with a big ship. So everyone's like rushing now to get off the mooring and get around the corner. And typical bank holiday weather in England, it's grey. We've had rain and it's really cold. So there's the rest of the fleet. Conyer is about, would you say 10 miles from where you work, honey? It's really near where Ian works and we're going there on holiday. So this boat left with us as well at Medway, all up at 5 o'clock because we had to be home for our animals. Right, we're about to cast off again, I believe. Let's get to work. Right, somehow I went down below to sort Izzy out and we ended up leading everyone. We've never been here before, everyone. We want to follow you. Unless they're all thinking, they've got a nice big keel, they can go first.
Apparently there's a freighter coming through at the same time and he wants to go first, so we've all got to hang around here waiting for him, and then we can follow him through under the bridge.
Waiting for. Apparently he has to go through first. Our opinion would be maybe get our boats out the channel, out the way first, but who am I to say? There's the tanker. Crater. Is it called a crater? Wow, look how beamy that boat is trying to get through that little hole. It's going good. No, it won't, Angel. It's just warning everybody that that's the last lift. Just... So we've just gone round Fowley Spit, I think is what it says. Should have read it when it was a bit closer.
The route so far had been down a strip of water that separates the Isle of Sheppey from the mainland UK.
It has been
It's not that wide, and as you can see from the map, there's a lot of green on here and not a lot of blue, meaning when the tide goes out, there really isn't very much water left to sail in. But we went from the left to the right, all the way down to, as Hannah said, Fowley Spit. Here, we turned 180 degrees pretty much and headed up the small creek that separates the mainland from Fowley Island. It's at this point that the deep water pretty much stops, and the rest of the way into Conyer Creek is following some small buoys and withies that basically mark out the channel. As you'll find out if you watch the rest of this film, this channel really isn't very wide.
Hammy in the biggest boat of us, a Daler 36, that's just sadly ran aground. We've gone down to 1.9 metres of water. So Hammy's just reversed off, because obviously if we all go slowly, you've got a good chance of getting off again. And we're just entering the channel now, with the red and green buoys ahead. Well, are we off? Are we aground? We've run aground now. Try and reverse. Oh no! Hammy's also aground. This is ridiculous. The other boat just went right through. Okay, we've been stuck for probably 5 minutes. We're off. But there's now another boat run aground in front of us. And we've still got Hammy. But we've just told him that very first buoy had 3 metres, so if you go right to that, that's what we did to get off, because everywhere we went we were just hitting.
We haven't got much power, but we can try and pull you off if you want some help.
So this yacht is called Celerity and she's stuck on the mud, and I expect you've already realised that that's not really that unusual on your first trip to Conyer. But there's a twist to her story, and if you continue watching to the end of this film, we'll tell you more about what happened.
We just got another boat. These guys were aground. Oh no, Hammy stopped again. Oh, poor Hammy. And we just pulled them off. But now Hammy's stuck. Okay, we've got Hammy stuck. I think the westerly is still coming in. We're down to 1.7 metres. Oh, here we go.
They're on the hard because they wasn't higher than us.
They're on the hard, honey. We're not going to go uphill. This is like so narrow. We have seriously ran aground like 5 times. Everyone else seems to have gone. Poor Hammy is only like 10 centimetres deeper than us and he's still trapped. And we had to get another boat off. Right. Can you see this bend here, honey? It goes right here. Luckily it's mud on the east coast. Oh my god, look how close to the shore we are. Ooh, come to Conyer, they said. It'll be fine. In fact, they did actually say for shallow boats. You can look out the window, baby. Yeah, we're really near the land.
Just woken up.
Well, you woke up at 5.
Did you call me?
No, the alarm was beeping, darling, because we were aground. I wish we had our red fox. Or a £300,000 Southerly, thank you very much. And there's a boat coming. There's really not much room for 2 boats. And people are walking just there. That's really, really near. Ah. 2.3 metres. So, has it all been worth getting stuck? It's very pretty, but we're still not there yet. We've got all these ducks going in front of us here. You seen the dogs win? Got a little face. Oh, eyeing up the competition. It is absolutely beautiful place. Look at these houses. Get your boat fixed by living there. Wow, you can't get much more waterfront than that. Lovely.
As a fitting end to the journey, there was only just over a metre of water at our berth, so you have to kind of drive it into the mud to settle in your final position.
Okay, so Hammy has got a boat that has broken its propeller and we are trying to find a place for it. Sorry if you can't really see it, but I'm trying my best because I am short. See my... There's Hammy.
I'll go the other side and help the other boat, okay?
Okay.
What's in the water behind it?
Well, Hammy's towing Celerity. They're both going to come in here for now.
This is exciting stuff.
Yeah, no, I've got it on camera.
Live from Swell Marina, another cruiser-class rescue mission. Hammy Nixon on Valhalla, towing in ex-member of Medway Yacht Club.
Yes, we've already rescued once.
They're on their second rescue of the day. Not going well.
That was the one that she had to catch the rope from. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
And the old man of the sea there's telling him all about it. Look, in the orange. Yes.
Just go that side. Come in this side.
How are we supposed to do this?
You're a ground.
Please don't break the boat.
Mary, you're a ground.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah, I think if Hammy goes that side, do you think?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is...
Yes, they got it.
Come on, move. Pull Hammy forward.
Right, we're going to pull Hammy and we've got to pull this one.
Her winch is probably a bit more powerful. On the bend of your nose in a minute.
This is going to be fun to edit, isn't it, Daddy?
So as you probably realise, this is Celerity again, the boat we towed off the mud. Well, it turns out they were more than just stuck on the mud, they'd lost their propeller. Fortunately for them, as the tide rose, it meant Hammy could finally get into the creek, so he was able to offer them a tow. But just to complicate things further, as they finally entered their berth, they both run aground, just like we did. So the tow line went slack very suddenly, and then wrapped itself around the propeller of Hammy's Dailer, as if things couldn't get any worse. Still, there was enough people around to help, and we managed, with the help of Hammy's winch and a bit of brute force, to get the boats back where they belong.
Okay, I can jump on and help.
Mary?
How are we going to get
Yeah, well done. Easy, easy. Good. That's good. That's good.
Quite a surreal place really, Conyer Creek. In 20 minutes, you go from looking at your boat thinking it's afloat to seeing it completely dried out. Not that I know much about this, but Conyer's got quite a long boating history. In the early 1900s there was a brickworks and cement factory locally that employed a lot of people, and all the old barges would frequently be going up and down the river to service these. You can still see a lot of the remnants of these factories if you walk around the surrounding area. But in the 60s, it was bought by a husband and wife who started to turn it into the marina we see today. And I guess all the nice local houses are built up around this. The result is a small but well-equipped little marina. Great clubhouse, friendly staff, good food on site, and a really excellent pub nearby with good food and drink. Do you recognise this mark? It's the cardinal mark that marks a spit or the joining of two channels on the way into Conyer Creek. Now I don't know about you, but I don't always find cardinal marks the easiest things to use. North or south makes sense, east and west I have to think about. And then when you're wiggling down a channel, what's north, what's south, what's east, what's west? I know you can look at a compass, but trust me, when you come into Conyer Creek, you've got more important things to look at than a compass. Anyway, the end result is Celerity isn't the only boat that goes aground on this mud. And when you look at the water and you see this catamaran, which let's face it, probably is drawing less than 12 inches, it's easy to see why. The other thing that makes this cardinal slightly harder is it marks the join between two channels. So when you're looking at the depth gauge and you're going the wrong way round it, initially it looks like you're doing the right thing because the depth is going up. Anyway, who do you think this might be?
Whoa, that looks close.
Stop to go there.
No, you're still moving. Now that yacht's in the way.
Yep, it's the guys off Celerity. I think they were probably hoping to get out here before the tide came in. But when you've got to sort your boat out, get the dinghy pumped up, the outboard on, and motor all the way out here, which isn't that far, but it's far enough for a little inflatable dinghy, I guess it took them a bit longer than they planned. Anyway, they had a good prod around, and guess what? They found it.
Wow, look, I said to Ian, if that was my propeller, I would be going in the water as well.
No, actually, you said you were turning to
Well,
the rope and make me
that is
swim.
actually what I said, yes.
Hang on, Paul, I'm just going to run it for a little bit. Yeah. Get the fuel out of it.
So, I can't believe it, you found it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We got there and we thought, oh my god,
Yeah.
we've left it too late.
Yeah.
But
Wait.
it just prodded round where
Yeah.
we thought it was.
Yeah.
It was
There it
gone.
was.
Oh, right.
And I went straight over.
Yeah.
I thought, then I said, as I was going over, I thought,
Yeah.
wonder if I'll get swallowed up by the boat. I was up to my knees.
Was it really?
As soon as we saw that catamaran go aground, we thought, oh no, it'll be churning the mud up, they'll never find it. Yeah.
It is. There you go, Izzy.
Well
We
done.
tried and it worked, didn't it?
So those of you who have been watching this and don't know Conyer Creek are probably thinking, oh, he's making a big deal about this. How hard can it be? Well, this is what Conyer Creek looks like when the water goes away. As you can see, it's hardly a creek, really, is it? A bit more of a stream. It's amazing that any of us managed to get up it at all. You see this spit mark now? It's easy to see why if you do go the wrong side of it, you go aground.
No. One of these lines is probably us. Probably the we ran aground. We were both looking at Izzy thinking, we need to buy her a new one.
Now when Hammy towed Celerity in, she ended up in the bay next to her. But of course, that wasn't actually the bay that was meant for Celerity, it was just the one that was most convenient. So how do you move a boat without a propeller? Well, you use something like this. Or at least you do at Conyer Creek.
Gotta go in.
Well, hello. It's the Monday of the bank holiday and we're going home. Lots of boats have already started to leave.
That's all right then. If we can get off the mud, we'll follow you then.
You're making me even more nervous with that
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, do something exciting.
There's an island just ahead of you.
Jacket on, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to put one on right now.
Well done. So muskrat draws 1.8, as we used to own her. Might see you in a minute.
Get round the corner and get stuck.
Yeah, we'll go dunk, 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 1, 2, 3. We're hopefully joining you now.
So just as we had to drive the boat into the mud to get into our mooring, we have to drive it, stroke push it, wiggle it, manoeuvre it to get it back out of our mooring and unstick it from all that mud it's been sitting in for 2 days.
Well, we hope so.
Playful adventure.
Do you want me to tie it up?
Oh yeah, hello.
Hello. We're filming.
That's a perfect place to board, that is.
Hello. It is so pretty, this river. It's so surreal.
Do you mean channel?
Yeah. This stream, this puddle. Got our little cruising jib on today because it's all hanked on. It's a lot of down and up, so she's nice and easy. This weekend's tying her out. We've got the cap there as well. What does that mean? It's just as confusing as the... What was the other bridge we had to do? Shoebury Ness Bridge. We didn't understand those traffic lights either. Because we got a green one and a red one.
They're just navigation lights, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't see any traffic lights. I heard a big honk. But what does a honk mean?
And that's about it. So although this film might have made it seem a bit dramatic with all the bumping through the mud and the rescues and so forth, it's really not that bad a place. So as long as you're sensible, there aren't really any problems and you can have a lot of fun in this quiet little corner of the Kentish coastline.